Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Now I'm gonna talk to you guys about part 2 of my experiences that I've had with the paranormal. So, this was when I was probably about 16 or 17. I was living back in my country, which is New Zealand, where I grew up and everything. So I had my grandmother, which is my nana. I call her my nana now. Well, this is you know, she went into a rest home because she kept having falls and she used to live on her own. So we took her to a rest home because she was keep falling over all the time and she was living on her own, but she used to live next door to me because our house was next to each other. So basically, yeah, we had to put her in a rest home. Till then, we did the house up that she was living in, and then what happened was, the next door neighbor that we had living in her house, they moved into the house. They had a 12-year-old daughter. I became really good friends with her. So she and I, we were just chatting and stuff, and we got to know each other, and we became real good friends. So she was pretty scared to be alone in the house by herself because her parents, they went to work at night and her older brother had to go to work. So the only time that in the daytime, he was at the high school, so he went to the same school as I. Anyway, they went off to work and she told me that she wanted some company. So I said, okay, I'll come up there and I'll, spend a bit of time with you. So we were up there in her house. So in the main bedroom where her brother was sleeping, that was where my nana was sleeping when she used to live in there. Anyway, we were on his computer, we were mucking about, what girls do then. And then, sorry about that. And then she had a TV on. We were watching something on TV. I think it was called Truth or Fiction. It was a TV show, and we were watching that. And then after we watched it, because it finished, we heard like a sound of a key going. You know how someone with a key can open the door? I went to investigate, and there was nobody there. And that freaked me out, so I ran downstairs to my house, because my house was next door. I ran downstairs, and she was like, come back, because she didn't want to be alone. I said, I'm not going to come back up there, for the night. But anyway, so I think she called me on the phone because I was down at my own house, and she called me and she wanted me to come back. But then I was talking to my parents about it, and they said, no, she can come down here and stay with us until her parents could get back home, or her brother. And unfortunately, she didn't come down, so she basically stayed up there by herself. So she was kind of freaking herself out. But anyway, so the story goes on that when her parents and her moved in the house, they were from a different country. I so got told from my mom, she said to me that when her father was alive, he didn't like these type of people from that country. And so the father was doing something in the house, and he came out to do something, and then the door shut on him, so there was no wind or anything, and he got himself locked out. So he'd come down to where my mum was and ask for a spare key to get him in. So now she told me no, that her dad didn't like them or something, and that's what happened. So that was an experience. Now, I didn't really start from the beginning before that. I didn't really start this off really well. But anyway, so that's what happened. But way before that happened, like a few years before that even happened, like when I was growing up, and I used to go up to visit my nana because she, was sitting by herself. She was alone. I go up to her house or something, and I'd say, "Can I borrow some sellotape?" And then I'd get it. Or I'd go up and say hi, and then I'd play on the piano, my granddad's piano. I don't know how to play it, but I was just, playing it. And then all of a sudden, yeah, she left. I didn't see her get up and leave, but she got up and she walked out of the house, and I was left alone. And I felt like something was watching me, so I kind of like, okay, I'm leaving too. So I go downstairs, I go home, and I tell my mom and dad, or I tell her, why did you leave, but anyway, that's what happened. So yeah, they were really kind of creeping me out stories. But basically, when my older brother was living with my nana, because I think my brother and my parents had a bit of a falling out. They didn't want him to live with them, or something happened. I don't know. I think I was a bit too young to know what was going on. Anyway, he went up to stay with her in my mum's old bedroom. So he basically lived with my nana. She was out dancing, she went out dancing a lot. And he was by himself. He was watching TV in the lounge room, and he said he didn't feel at ease. So I was kind of spooked out a bit. During the day, when I went up there, he'd just show me something like in the wardrobe. They had hangers in the wardrobe, and they were like swaying by themselves, like there was no wind at all. The windows were closed, there was nothing there, and they were like moving on their own. So that was kind of a bit scary for him and I. And so, yeah, I'm like, okay. And then eventually, I think my brother moved out to go and stay in a caravan park for a while. And then eventually came back to live with us. So I think everything settled down between him and my mum and dad. So that was good. Anyway, so that was what happened. So those were kind of spooky experience, I reckon. But when he was little, when my older brother was little, because he met my granddad, and I never did because he died before I was born. So he, I don't know, I think he was about 3 years old at the time, but he remembers that he saw his granddad, like, looking like, in the hallway sort of thing. And then he told my parents that he showed them a photo of him, and they're like, that's granddad. And we were like, okay, yeah. So yeah, that was pretty spooky. So I thought I'd share those with you. I think I have a bit more I can add to this video if you'd like. So there's a next story in this for me. Okay, so I think when I was about, say, how old was I? I think I was about 15, 16. I can't remember how old I was, but I know I was a teenager at the time. I knew my uncle quite well, like we knew him. He passed away from cancer. He had cancer of the lungs or whatever it was, because he used to smoke quite a lot. And he passed away eventually. But I remember the thing that he told me was like, make sure that you look after your parents or something other than that. So I said yes. And Yeah, he passed away. He died of cancer. A few moments, like, after his passing, things started to happen in my house. Now, I was not living where I used to live, about that story with my nana and us. We basically moved to Howick, which is in Auckland in New Zealand. So we had a house there that was basically was already well, it wasn't haunted, but we did have ghost orbs in our pictures every time, because the manager that I worked with, the supermarket, her daughter, she died in a car accident, and I think it was her coming to visit the house. But anyway, so he passed away, and then we brought his ashes home one night with us, because the next day we were going to go to Taupo to, you know, put his ashes out, and it's in a falls, in the falls in Taupo. So things started happening in the house. Like that night, my parents went out to get some food for us. I think they went to get takeaway or something. And anyway, I just sitting like next to the rest chair, and I was just saying, it's my brothers. Like, I was with my brothers, or we're home watching TV and all that. And we had his ashes in a box, but it was in the kitchen. We put it on the bench. Anyway, I felt uneasy, like something was touching me or whatever. I just felt something. And then I said, if it's you, you know, I know you're there or something. And then, yeah. The next day went to Taupo and we got rid of his ashes, but before that we had his favourite music. His song that just came out of nowhere was on the radio. And we're like, okay, yeah, alright, we know. So then, like, every month of the year, like, it's like his birthday's on the same day as mine. So basically, if we're listening to a radio, and his song will just automatically come on the radio. So yeah. Anyway, things started happening in the house. I had a lamp light that was in my bedside, and I had to go to work, but I made sure that I turned my lamp light off before I go to work. I turned it off, I went to work, I came home, and my light was on. I said to my parents, did anybody go into my bedroom? They said no. So I was like, ooh, that's very interesting. So anyway, it happened to my parents' lights as well in the bedroom, in their main bedroom, because when my mum and I were getting ready to go out, we're putting makeup on and everything, we saw the lamp lights go on. And they were on, so she turned them off. So we both said, oh, okay, we probably know who it was anyway, but we said, if you're here, can you turn the lights on? And they came on. So yeah, that was kind of freaky. Then my other brother, he said to me that he saw an apparition of my uncle outside in the driveway smoking a cigarette, but he looked happy. So then he said he vanished. So yeah, so those were the things that happened with us in our childhood. So I thought I'd just share those with you. I'm sure I have a bit more to add. I can talk about it, about my older brother and his experiences, but I thought I'd leave those with you, and you guys can comment. You can subscribe if you like, and hit the like button. Yeah, if you're new, subscribe, and if you want to hear more about these of my real life experiences, please comment down below. I'm sure I might have more in the future. But there is one more other story that I want to tell you, but I think I'll leave it in the next video for you. So please comment and like and subscribe. And if you do not know anything, go into I think I've done an introduction video on this channel. I'm not too sure, maybe it's on the other channel, I can't remember. But anyway, so, okay, for most of you that are new to my channel, yeah, well, My name is Rachel, and I am originally from New Zealand, Auckland, and I'm living in Australia now. So I've been here about 7 years. I am married. I don't have kids. The rest of my family lives back in New Zealand. So yeah. So anyway, I'm going to go now and leave these great stories with you. And you can comment. Like I said, you can comment, subscribe, hit the like button, and I do appreciate your comments, and I do reply. If you want me to do another YouTube channel where I'm just, talking about what I'm doing in my day, which is probably boring as anything, let me know. And otherwise, I'll just stick with the ghost paranormal channel this is. So yeah, I will see you guys in my next video, but for now, have a good day. Bye and peace.